You are listening to the Earplug Podcast Network, a Fanboys Inc. production.
We're going to be on the internet.
Gathered together from the cosmic reaches of the universe.
We're really glad that you're our friend, and this is a friendship that'll never, ever end.
Is he always so cheerful?
Well, neither are you very much good.
Wonder Woman.
This is the way.
I have spoken.
I got a bad feeling about this.
I don't need no philosophy lesson here.
Oh, look, Doc, I just can't do it, Never learn to speak good.
I think it's good, except it sucks.
Textbook narcissism. Agreed.
That's cheating for everyone. Your deepest, darkest secret.
His people are completely literal. Metaphors are gonna go over his head.
You're gonna eat lightning, and you're gonna drop thunder.
Follow me.
The tower of power, too sweet to be sour. I'm funky like a monkey. Sky's the limit and space is the place.
Are you ready?
And welcome to this week's episode of the Angry Geeks. I'm your host, Louis Perry. And Jamie Dolan is not here this week. She has another work item, but we have a special guest co-host, the one and only Ian Chase Nichols! How you doing, Ian? What's going on, brother?
I'm good. You know, working, drawing all the time, trying to keep my head above water, but, you know, reading comics and catching the occasional movie and such. So I don't know if I'm as caught up as you are, but, you know, I'm not as behind as I usually am.
What movie did you watch? What movie?
Well, I've seen Peacemaker, the series.
Yeah, okay, good. We'll talk about that.
I've seen that.
Okay.
You know, what else have I seen? I finally did see, like, most of the comic movies that I'd missed. You know, I hadn't seen the Captain Marvel movies. I saw both the DC and the Marvel ones. Mm-hmm. I hadn't seen the sequel to Deadpool. I'd seen, you know, I've just been trying to catch up, and I'm more caught up than I usually am, but I'm usually not caught up enough still. So if there's something, you know, I've been reading usually old comics like usual, but I picked up Aquaman, the new Aquaman comic that just came out last week. You know, trying to stay in it, you know, as it were.
Okay. Are you excited for The Batman?
Am I excited for it? I don't.
Yeah.
I like Pattinson. He's done some good movies. Like The Lighthouse was terrific. And you know, the cast looks pretty cool. I don't know if I've seen as many of Matt Reeves' movies, but you know, we'll check it out. I'll go into it with an open mind. It's a big budget comic book action-y flick. I hope it's got a little bit of a pace to it. If they're drawing a lot from like the Mazzucchelli, Frank Miller comics, like the Year One stuff, I mean, those are classic comics. So, you know.
Well, I'll be seeing it Wednesday night, so look for a special review coming up soon. Before we bring in our special guest, we do have from Aviva. Good evening, Louis and Ian. And now, with further ado, we know him. We all love him. We all know who he is. More Spider-Man covers than anyone in history. He worked on Green Lantern. He worked on Venom. He worked on just about everything. He worked on Aquaman.
The Outsiders. Yes. He's done, you know, he did X-Men, Millennial Visions. He's done all those different Spider-Mans, like the Jackal Files, the Parker years.
I know.
All the Venom books that you can, you know, have seen all the reprints showing up again.
Yes. He's just amazing. But before we do that, Joe Burke, Jamie and I were talking about you, sir, and we will be in contact through an email all the way from the UK. We will be getting in contact. But anyway, without further ado, from the Arctic, the one and the only Joe St.Pierre.
What up?
The soundboard's not working. The soundboard. What happened to the soundboard? It's not working.
Hello?
My God. Anyway, Chris Heber says, hey, what's going on? And the boss from Earplug Podcast Network, Herb himself,
My
says,
buddy.
what's up, boys? And hi. And Matt's coming in and says, rah.
Oh, you forgot to say rye. I think that's what Matt is saying.
Yes, that's what he is doing. Joe, you got a lot of stuff going on, but I want to ask you, Peacemaker, have you seen it?
I'm quite a few years behind, I think, on my DVD and my comic book material. There's just too much stuff coming out, so I haven't gotten there yet. But feel free to talk about it, spoil the shit out of it. I don't really.
All right. Well, there's a rumor that the name of our episode tonight, Aquaman, is the rumor true, or does he really do that?
Bow to Aquaman, all of us.
Okay, great. There is the
Am
most.
I the only one?
No, not at all. I mean, I think I always thought I was the biggest Aquaman fan until I've met Ian and yourself. Your first drawing that you've ever done for me, Joe, was Aquaman.
That's right. I remember that.
Yeah,
I have some on deck. You want me to post one?
Absolutely.
I'm playing with my new computer, so.
Yeah, you were supposed to be sending me some stuff, and you never did.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know what the protocol is on Angry Geeks. I'm not on.
Oh my God, you used to be.
Let's see. So share screen.
I sent you some stuff, Lewis.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did. So let's see if I can beat Joe to it.
Share slides from my computer. Upload
and Uncle Joe is in the
file.
house. Hello, Uncle Joe.
Uncle Joe's in the house?
Uncle Joe Goulart.
That's right. Oh, I'll get all this dead space in our podcast while we...
No, not at all.
Well, I have a Joe story I can share.
Yes, please go ahead.
Before the first time I met Joe, I saw him on the guest list, and it was a Rhode Island Comic-Con, and I sent him a message. I was like, "Hey, do you have any?" Like, I hadn't met him, so I was like, "Are you the Joe St.Pierre that drew this issue of Aquaman, which was Aquaman number 9, from the Peter David series?" And I asked him, "Hey, would you mind if I came over to your table if you would sign it for me?" He was like, "You know what? We'll read it together. We'll have time."
I used to have an extra chair. It's like a library at my conventions.
Yeah.
I could definitely vouch for that. And here we go. Joe is adding some stuff to the stream here. Joe, what happened? It went away.
I'm trying to remove. It looks like it's saying that. No, that's not what I'm trying to do.
Okay.
Can we remove that on your end?
Absolutely. But here's one of Joe's Aquaman pieces
one.
right here. That is absolutely beautiful.
Apparently, I have 2 pictures in, and that's all I can have.
Okay. This right here. Ian, why don't you explain to everyone about this piece right here?
Yeah, that is actually a published page from the issue of Aquaman that Joe drew. And I looked for years for a page from this book, and you know, I mean, Joe only drew 1 issue, and
mm-hmm.
I don't know how many pages did you get returned, because it was split up between you and 2 separate inkers.
Yeah, I know Rodney Ramos inked half of it, and he did a great job. I'm going blank on the other inker.
It was Howard Shum. He was the regular inker for Marty Eglund.
Yes, I have fond memories of Rodney's inks on that issue. And what did they usually do? I guess they split up half the book. But that page you have was one of the last ones that I sold. I like that page. I like the Aqua Car. Do you remember the Aqua Car?
Oh yeah, the Aqua Car. And this one has Dolphin in it, who was a main character at the time.
Dolphin's a pretty cool character. I liked her as well.
Yeah.
My question was, why did Aquaman need a car?
Exactly.
That always bugged me. It's like Flash needs a motorcycle. Why?
Well, Aquaman, you know, he's. How would you like it if you had to swim across the Atlantic Ocean every 2 hours? I mean, he
can do it in less
every once in a while.
But
right?
he can. But the thing is, he can do it in less than 15 minutes. I mean,
it makes much more sense if it's for a car for out of the water that has water in it, so that he doesn't have to go back to the ocean to recharge, right?
Exactly.
Oh, that's actually a cool idea. Well, my aqua car would do that.
Yeah. I mean, why does he need a car? Yeah, I can get Superman being in a spaceship. Yeah, I understand that. We all get that.
Superman has a car too, right? Isn't there a super car and it's got arms that come out of it and stuff?
No, that's his spaceship. That was his spaceship.
And what's that called?
I mean, I get the super spaceship. I don't know. I can't remember.
Oh yes, of course. The super spaceship.
As Joe would say, do you own any shirt?
Right. Every single one of your T-shirts has the S shield on it.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. Ian, how did you feel about Peacemaker and the Aquaman rumor? And then we'll get it to Joe.
Aquaman's going to be in Peacemaker?
He was. He was.
Oh, now I got to see this.
I was just going to say, I thought the show was terrific. I think it was my, probably of like the HBO Max live action stuff, probably the thing I've enjoyed the most. It gets super weird, like a James Gunn thing does. But it's got a lot of heart to it, and the characters have a nice arc. I was absolutely floored by the level of range and performance from Mr. Cena, who I'd never seen in anything before. I'm not going to say like I'm an expert on his wrestling career or his feature films, but my prejudice was going into it. I didn't have high expectations for like an action movie guy, and I was surprised at how well and how deftly he handled the nuances of the role. It was not an easy role.
No, it wasn't. I think that. Well, first, I was floored. I like Mandalorian season 2 season finale, when Luke Skywalker showed up. Rose will tell you both. You both know my wife, Rose. When Luke showed up in that, spoilers, I stood up. And jaw dropped, I stood up. Tears came rolling down my eyes. At the season finale... And now, Ian, you know what happened. Season finale of...
Yeah, you have to look over.
Yes, the season finale of The Peacemaker. Now, granted, I watched that by myself. There was no one here in the Perry household. Okay, and I watched it right when I got home from work. I started dinner quick, showered, sat on the couch, and I watched it. When they showed up, I stood up and screamed so loud that Superdog Kara started howling because I went absolutely nuts. And then when you seen that there were actually the two of the real actors, I was floored. You
got to record that kind of stuff for the.
I know it,
like
Jamie.
Smith, you got to when you're weeping openly in Star Wars program. We need to see that stuff.
Well, it was like, first of all, I cried in front of Rose for the Luke Skywalker thing, and she called me a baby. And you both know that Rose would do that. But for this, for Peacemaker, it was just like, oh my God, I just stood. I'm a kid. I am a true kid at heart, and I am just like crazy. And just we got some more art from Joe coming in.
So it sounds like you were crying on Peacemaker because you were affected by the story, not just because
I was affected.
Heroes showed up on camera.
No, my childhood heroes showed up, Joe.
Oh, okay.
Joe, tell us a little bit about this piece. This is almost like the one that you did for me.
Oh yeah? Oh, cool. This is Aquaman. He swims underwater. He's got this cool scale mail shirt on. I think I did that for the Hall of Comics. Do you remember Hall of Comics? Do you know those guys?
Yep.
Jake and Johnny, very nice guys. And this was a commission I did recently for a Kickstarter. That's Aquaman. He swims underwater. He's king of the seven seas.
So when you
That's
tackle
fun.
something like this, Joe, do you do a bunch of like roughs? Like this is the first one looked like one of your headshots, and you can kind of block it out and go. But on a commission, do you start out with prelims, or do you start on the board and go right at it? Like, how do you approach those?
I'm really kind of a spontaneous person most of the time. If that's a show, I get an idea in my head, I'll break it down. But a lot of times I'll mess with sketches on the side if I'm not sure what I'm looking for. That was a commission, so I'm going blank on, I think his gentleman's name is Grant. I think he's requested, Aquaman rising up out of the ocean, probably sent me reference or something like that. So, but I'm working on a cover for New Zodiacs now, and I'm on the 6th version. So it depends on the game. It depends on the piece itself and where I am in my brain in space, or if I'm paying attention. Hey, that was cool. That was inked by Rodney Ramos also. Look at that. Look at the inks on that.
Look at the depth from that forward hand all the way back to the fist that's reaching back. I mean, that's just great.
That's hardcore.
Yeah, I
wish
nice.
I did that. That's nice.
Yeah, Uncle Joe Goulart just sent that over. He just sent me a message and said, Lewis.
Did they change the label? The CGC label or the CBCS label was incorrect. I wonder if they changed the label. I penciled it and Rodney inked it, and the label said that Rodney penciled it.
Okay.
Whatever.
So I never asked you this question. Yeah, I never asked you this question, Joe. What's your favorite medium to work with?
Oh, I'm a pencil, pen, and ink guy since I was a kid. Okay. Yeah.
All right.
Ian, depends on the gig. I can do anything, but if I had just me doing my own thing, I'm drawing on paper.
Okay. Ian, what about you? Ian? I never asked you that either.
I like ink brush as well, like pen and ink with brush. I know Joe uses one too. But I also really like using different types of translucent mediums like watercolor or watered down acrylics and stuff. Like I really enjoy that type of like
watercolor
painting,
so hard.
But it's just there's so little call for it, so I kind of have to like force using it on projects. Like I never have someone go, man, this would be great if someone would do this piece in watercolor. No one ever asks for that because it's not an industry standard for what we do. They're all like, we want the big bright digital colors, we want it to look like other covers. So it's really tough to get opportunities for that. And at least for me it is. I mean, for somebody who's known for that, obviously like your Alex Rosses, who are like unbelievable talented well-known painters, that's what people expect from them. So
Tony Moy, do you know Tony?
Yeah, Tony does good stuff.
He's a great watercolorist. What do you like, Lewis?
Yeah,
when you're drawing your little baby pictures of Luke Skywalker, your little chibi drawings of Aquaman, what do you like to do?
I don't know if Ian knows, but I do like to draw. Joe, you saw me do something when we were on somebody else's show one night. I drew something, held it up to the camera, and showed you.
Mm-hmm.
I do like to draw. I just use regular pencil or pen. That's it.
Like a ballpoint pen?
Yeah. I'll just pick or a regular just lead number 2 pencil and just do whatever. I do have a tablet for the computer, so if I do a puppet, as Joe calls them, for Jamie and I just use the regular tablet and do stuff like that.
I mean, Joe, I don't know if you know this, but Lewis is the world champion blindfolded Batman artist. Like, he's the world champion.
Yes, I am.
You gotta start calling out the bigger name artists, I think. You gotta be like, Jim Lee, come on here and challenge you to a blindfolded Batman drawing.
Maybe at this year's Rhode Island, if Jim Lee is there. I don't know. I would love to do that against you, Ian, or even Joe. I would love to. I think I had a draw off here in the Geek Lair against and Andre's in the house. We got some comments coming through. We had to read them. Andre, geek out, everyone. Hello, Andre. How are you? And Axel says, hello, gentlemen. If you guys have a question for...
There's gentlemen here?
And Heidi says, Ian Chase, please post some of the watercolors you have done. She would love to see them.
Sure. Yeah. Be happy to.
And James. Hi, Dad. Joe. Hi, James. How are you? That's another one of my adopted kids, James, right there. And
kids all over the place.
Yes, I know. No, I just regular paper. Regular paper and pen, and I'm trying to use that tablet right now. But I find the tablet difficult because as I'm drawing on pen and paper, I like, you're looking at the paper. But as I'm drawing on the tablet, I have to look at the screen.
Do you remember those tablets? There used to be something you would set down on a table, and you had a pen tool, and you had to look up at a screen in order to see where you were drawing.
That's what I have. Yeah, that's what I'm using.
Giant Bizarro invented that. I was like, go smoke a rope. I'll wait till the next. I'll wait till the next technology where you actually draw on the screen comes around.
Well, that's what I'm working on.
I'll do something. You work on what I just said?
Yes. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do.
How do you even do that? It's so counterintuitive.
It is so hard.
In the can, man.
You want to hear something crazy, Joe?
Yeah,
Brian Dolan uses that.
What?
Brian Dolan uses one of those.
All right. Well,
really?
He's a genius.
Yeah,
I don't have time.
He was
for
explaining that on one of his art posts that he still uses the tablet instead of the Cintiq, and I was just like,
yeah, that's what I have. I have a tablet, and the tablet is very small, and well, maybe it's good for me. What the Batman blind dry off, Ian.
Maybe that's how you learn.
It could be. Yeah.
No, I've been doing that way. Like I was saying, I think.
Never look at me, Louis.
Joe.
Hold on. Here. There, Joe. You better now.
All
You
right.
better.
I feel so much better. I feel so much better now.
Feel like we're in a Brady Bunch. Tom Polo, big fan and supporter of the Angrygeeks Show. Tom Polo says he would love to see some watercolors as well.
Dig out the watercolors, bro.
Yeah, but with the tablet,
I'll hold
itself.
down the fort while you dig out the watercolors.
With the tablet itself, it's very hard. And the tablet's small. And actually, I had it, Ian, while we were in Colorado last year. I had it in Colorado.
And you used it to hold up the bedpost because your bed was wobbly. I don't get it. Look,
are you crazy? I did not.
You don't look away from what you draw. That's how I.
It's very hard to use. Very hard to use.
Get your money
Joe,
back.
It was given to me. It was given to me.
Give it back. Tell them they're not a friend. They're not a friend. They're not your friend. Give it back and don't ever talk to that person again. They have these. Literally, I think they're called iPads, right? I'm due to get one any day now, but it's like a pad. It's a flat board, and you draw on it, like pens and papers and stuff. I bet Brian Boland's work would improve. Imagine saying Brian Boland's work would improve. But
hot takes.
Brian Dolan is probably a genius if he can draw that well with his hand somewhere other than what he's looking on. But
wow.
But I don't know.
All right, I missed
can't work that way.
We're having such a good time. I missed a 15-minute mark. Ron Garney is going to be at Alternate Universe LLC in March, and I forgot the date because I'm laughing so hard, but please go to Alternate Universe LLC, Milford, New Haven, and get the date there. Go to the Angrygeeks Show page as well. I will be in town for the one and only Ron Garney, and I think Ian said he was going to come down too.
Yeah, I think I am going to drive down. I met him a couple of times over the years. Very nice, terrific artist. And he worked on the first comic I ever bought. He actually drew a Spiderman story in it, the Marvel Holiday Special from 1991.
Oh, the classic Ian impression book.
I can wax philosophical. I could fill a podcast just talking about that book.
What did he draw in that book?
He did. That was his first Spider-Man story.
Oh, there was a Spider-Man story in
yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
cool.
He drew it. Mike DiCarlo inked it, and Danny Fingeroth, I think, wrote it.
J-Bo.
And J-Bo and Ty both said, "Hey, fellas," and "Hey,
They're
Joe."
both here.
Yeah, they're both here.
Wow.
And tell Mom I said hi. Ian, why don't you just stop at the lair and we can drive down together?
Is it on the way from where I'm at?
Yes. You're going to go right by me.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I did that once. It's very cool driving with Louis. It's fun.
Yeah.
He stays on the road and everything the whole time. Most of the time.
Most of the hands. Joe, you have a secret, another secret passion. We'll get back to Aquaman in a minute, and I'm not sure how Ian feels about this, but you and I share another secret passion, and at one time, you were even going to purchase this Planet of the Apes. Can you tell the story about how you were going to actually even buy the property?
Oh, not buy the property, but I was playing with the idea. This is many years ago now. This is before Boom and everything. There seemed to be an explosion in the last 15 years or so, which they're just doing every property imaginable. But I'm trying to think of the exact date. I forget. But I did approach MGM about licensing the rights for Planet of the Apes for comic book publishing. And we talked for a while, and I had a conversation with Jim Steranko by email around the same time, and he didn't see it as his advice was, could you make the money back that the licensing fee that you would have to pay MGM, could you make that money back by selling, 1 to 2 comics, or would you have to do it over, to kind of break down the costs of all that stuff. And at the time I couldn't make that work. So, but I love Planet of the Apes. So we've had my other appearances on the show. We can just do an hour and a half on Planet of the Apes.
Did.
Right? Yeah, we probably did.
We did. Jabo wants to know what show we are talking about. We are talking about Ron Garney's appearance at Alternate Universe LLC. I believe, Ian, the end of March 13th, I think, right? March 23rd?
I can look it up.
Yeah, please look it up. I'm horrible at that right now. And so we were just going to do that.
Be,
and
March 26th.
March 26th. I was close. I said the 28th. That was just 2 days off. Anyway.
Show up at the 28th, and you can smell Ron Garney's cologne while you missed him.
And you can still buy comics at the store. It's Angry Geeks
great
approved.
Store. That's Eric's store, right? Alternate.
Correct.
Universe? Yeah,
correct.
Great store. Very well. I love the back issue section. It's very
now on the same. If you can't make it down there on the same day, there is also CH Square Collectibles Comic Book Convention. And speaking of CH Square Collectibles, let's take a quick 30-second break for our sponsor, and we'll be right back.
Angrygeeks Show, brought to you by CH Square Collectibles, Comics Collectibles, and more. Magic the Gathering every Friday at 6 p.m. Located at 39 Wedgwood Drive, Suite 232, Jewett City. Comics, sports card, autographs, online sales. CH Square Collectibles, proud sponsor of the Angrygeeks Show.
And we are back. And Ian just sent me something very special that we're going to pull up. Oh, Joe, what are you whispering for?
I'm just going to raise my computer a little bit.
All right, so Ian, what is one of your special pet projects? What do you like? One of your loves? Joe and I have Planet of the Apes. What do you love?
Well, let's see how Ian feels about Planet of the Apes. Maybe he likes them.
I do enjoy Planet of the Apes. I actually just had a lot of the platforms carry the original movies for some reason recently, so I was able to put them on in the background in the studio and just have them all play consecutively, in the background, and it's just fun. It's super fun stuff.
Oh, love it.
By the time you get to Beneath the Planet of the Apes and War for Planet of the Apes, it's I actually watched a few episodes of the cartoon show as well, and one of the things I noticed about the cartoon show was the terrific color use in that show for storytelling and mood, and I've been really spending a lot of time looking at coloring lately because I've been diving into doing classical traditional coloring that was done in comics prior to the digital revolution where everything became digitally colored.
Okay. Speaking of color, Ian, what can you tell us about this piece?
That was just a sketch cover I did a couple of years back where I was able to take it home and finish it with watercolors. Like, I would not call this a watercolor painting. This is a color drawing that I used watercolors for. I've got a bunch more on my Facebook page and website and stuff like that. But that was just a case where I went in, used what I like to do is you'll see like where the yellow light is on Tick's shoulders. I'll do underpainting with warm and cool colors. Like, I'll pick a light color and then I'll pick a shadow color, which is usually like a Payne's gray or another neutral grayish color that doesn't have too much vibrancy to it. And then that'll be where I do all the shadows, and then I'll go over with either solid colors or tapered colors, like you can see on the Tick's like a right pec there, where it goes from light blue to dark blue to yellow, and that's like 3-4 different layers of color. So yeah, that was just a commission that I had done.
Nice.
But that's cool. I tried for years to do markers, and I was just awful at them. Like, I tried so hard, like, because even if you know what color you want to put down, or you know your color theory, if you know your warm cools, if you know how to work with layering colors, like, for some reason I still couldn't make it look how these great artists out there make it look with markers. Like, there are people that are just magic with these markers, and on top of that, they're infinitely more expensive. Like, yeah, a nice Grumbacher watercolor will set you back like, $8 a tube, but that's going to last me for years.
Mm-hmm. All right. Speaking of commissions, Joe, another question I never asked you all the years that we've known each other, all the times you've been on the show. What's the weirdest commission someone asked you to do? And then, Ian, you're going to be next.
I don't get a lot of weird ones. I got one just recently. It was Superman Carnage mashup, which I thought was unusual. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it was. Yes.
Wow.
Carnage, and it was fun to work on, but no one's ever asked for that before. Yeah.
Okay.
You like the Superman, I hear, right?
He likes the Superman.
You like the Superman?
No, Joe did a beautiful Superman for me.
Yeah.
He did a. Yeah. I mean, when he gave me this piece, he gave it to me as a gift. I felt it's here in the Geek Lair, right next to your Lobo, actually, Ian. I just fell in love with that piece right away. Ian, what's your weirdest commission?
For some reason, and I don't know why, I always get asked to draw like, and I don't know if it's my style or if it's just because I'm cheap, but I always get asked to draw characters like that are so like outlandishly far away from anything I've ever even heard of or worked on, whether it's video games or different anime characters or whatever. But the weirdest one I would say ever that I'm allowed to talk about in a family-friendly environment is there was a deal where two buddies were at a show, and they're joking around, they're having fun, they're looking at your books, they're asking you questions, and then they look at your commission price, and then they ask you like, hey, do you have time to draw a commission? I'm like, yeah, sure. You probably got to pick it up at the end of the day, but I'll get it done. What do you want? He's like, I want you to draw a picture of me punching the daylights out of my best friend. And not only do you want me punching the daylights out of him, I want you to draw me putting my fist through his head. And I was like,
done.
No wonder they're best friends.
Sometimes you got to make that gas money to get home. And as a friend of ours will say, a mutual friend of ours will.
Yeah. And we all know who that is.
Yep.
How did they like it? What did they think?
Oh, I drew it really cartoony, and it was very it looked more like a bad Tex Avery drawing than something that you'd see me drawing in, a comic book. And they liked it. It was, it was fun.
Sure.
Okay, and Andre comes in, and Andre says that his weirdest commission I was asked to do was Cat from Gotham making out with her real dog. No deal, sicko. I was like, oh, jeez.
Oh, I guess you wouldn't do that. Well, you got to go see Ian, whoever that was who wanted the commission.
It depends what time it is. How is my list full? I don't know.
Is your gas tank on E?
Yep. How big is the stack of bills? Yeah.
Joe, you worked on so many different characters. What character did you never work on that you wanted to work on? No, I've been pulling out questions that we never. Whenever, to be honest with you, Ian, whenever Joe was here in the Geek Lair, or whenever Joe and I hang out, our conversations go from serious to kidding to BS totally, and I never get to ask him too many questions. So I asked you to be my co-host tonight, so I can actually be mature for once. And so Joe, what character would you like to work on that you never got to work on?
I guess I think all the Marvel characters that I always liked are pretty well tapped. I mean, and so anybody that I'm interested in, like drawing, I'm also interested in writing stories for. So like, I think I would do a decent job on Moon Knight at Marvel. I like this. I'm not sure where they're going with it, and I haven't read the series in quite a while. Are we still on?
Yeah, I think we lost Lewis, so we'll just have to carry on.
Okay. And then we got the C and D list over at DC, like Hawkman, the Atom, the Creeper, Metamorpho. I'm a big fan of those lesser known DC characters. I always said that. Are you there? Are you okay?
Yeah, I was there. No, I got up to do something. I removed myself from the screen. Now, you said Hawkman. Once again, Hawkman, you did another commission for me for Hawkman. But I just wanted to... No, Andre, I'm still here. And Aviva... Andre has a comment, and this is why I got up. But before I get to Andre's comment, Aviva says, Lewis, is this considered mature? Yes.
Lewis is not mature.
And Ali's in the house. Ali says, hey guys.
Ali, what's up, buddy?
And Andre has
Ali
said...
did a Moon Knight piece that was pretty cool.
Yes, he did.
Media.
Andre says, speaking of Lobo commissions, I can actually use a few more. So I went up and took this off the wall at the Geek Lair.
Very nice.
And this is actually done by Ian.
Fantastic.
Yeah, from a few years ago now.
Yeah.
Nice depth, 3D. Look at that rock under.
Yeah, I mean, I when Ian gave me this, plus he gave me the original sketch that came with this. And
wait, what is that? That's not a sketch? What is that?
Oh, no. He
the prelim.
The prelim.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
And I fell in love with this immediately. Now, this other one that I got up to get off the wall here in the Geek Lair is...
Yeah, that's a great one.
Yeah, I love this to death. And this is by Joe himself.
That was fun.
And
I made the cape kind of shaped like an S. Did you catch that?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
And that's why I got up, guys, because I didn't want to do this. Because that would be pretty damn rude.
But we would have known what happened though. You just kind of disappeared.
We're visual people. Something happened between the panels there, and we couldn't.
Yeah, exactly. It was just suddenly you were gone. We thought you were abducted.
Joe, you got to draw a bunch of like in that one issue of Fantastic Four. You got to draw a bunch of the lesser known characters. Like you had a splash page with Adam Warlock. You had it kind of went through some of the Marvel universe. So you actually got to in that one issue.
That was a Spider-Man one shot.
Oh, that was the Spider-Man one? Okay.
Close. Yeah, that was kind of like Spidey's history over the previous 20-some years. So it's like Spider-Man supporting cast, all his villains at the time. So yeah, that was fun. And some of his major team-ups, like...
That's right, yeah.
Warlock and Daredevil, the Punisher, stuff like that. That was a blast.
And you just made Ali pee his pants.
Oh!
Ali just peed his pants. Thank you very much. Ali says, oh my God, the man himself.
Video. We need video content. This is a podcast. Yeah. If I don't see it, it didn't happen. Didn't happen.
The next time he's hanging out with Jamie and I, well, he'll probably pee his pants again. So, Andre wants to know, what is your favorite book that you have worked on?
That's easy for me.
Yeah, go ahead. The question is for you, Joe.
Oh, this New Zodiacs. You kidding me? It's my own babies. Yeah.
So, I know we have something that you and I are going to be working on shortly. Do you want to talk about that now, or do you?
Yeah, the Kickstarter for New Zodiacs. I'm relaunching the New Zodiacs because I did a 4-issue mini almost 7 years ago now, which is crazy. I got kind of sidetracked by the Cousteau young readers stuff, and I'm just not that fast of an artist that I could do both things. So. Hard to believe, but I'm almost sold out. I think I have maybe 20 copies of the trade, the graphic novel that assembled the first 4 issues. So those are going to sell out probably at my next show. So I'd like to keep New Zodiacs in print, and I had the idea to kind of relaunch so that I could do something more regularly. So I'm going to relaunch New Zodiacs. We're going to start with the Kickstarter. I'm talking with Diamond now. It's going to be released in comic shops and stuff like that. But I'm also going to do a Kickstarter, and that's going to happen probably within the next couple weeks. Cross your fingers. Depends on Louis' schedule. It's going to help me. Going to help me with the video, right, Bud?
Yes,
Bud?
I will be. Yes, I'll be helping you with the video for sure.
Okay.
Ian,
you sure?
I'm positive. I'm positive.
Okay.
Ian,
this guy is going to help me.
Out of all your projects, what is your baby that?
I mean, currently, like Joe, I have my own creator-owned stuff with the X.
Helena.
With the X of Helena stuff, and it's a fun fantasy book. I mean, but if I had to pick one that was like a work for hire situation, I have so much fun drawing the Tick. Like, he's so ridiculous, and like, you can't exaggerate too much. And there's a certain freedom in that when you're drawing, like that. Yeah, there's sort of a style guide that they have, but they want it to be more over the top than you can even think of. So, like one of my favorite covers I've ever done was the one where he's riding the Tick cycle, and the whole it's blowing up the Tick logo, and he's riding through it, and it's just crazy stuff like that. So, I enjoy working on really exaggerated, whether it's the Tick or even when I worked on Iron Face. That book was not an all ages book, and it was one of the most over the top things I'd ever read. And when they pitched me to work on it, I was like, no, you never know, like when someone throws you an idea for a project, what it's going to be logistically. But I just loved the craziness of it so much that it was like, I can't turn this down if it's going to be as fun as I'm reading it. But if I had to pick like one thing to work on, it's my own stuff, like Joe, whether it's Helena or the goofy undersea hero little character I do a cartoon of every now and again.
With Iron Face and the content of the book, myself knowing you, hold on, now I have to switch this because I have to look at Ian. But with me knowing you, and I mean this with all due respect and much love, how do you feel? It's like, now, if you think about a picture that you and I took with Chris Campana and the three of us all standing there together, when you look at Iron Face and you're like, Ian drew this? It's like how your demeanor and how you are. It's kind of like, do you feel comfortable with that?
Oh, he's a natural for that.
No. Meaning.
Am I comfortable with you thinking I'm totally square? Yeah, that's
cool. Joe, I'm gonna switch you guys.
Ian's so totally low key. Ian's so totally low key, but underneath is a guy who wants to like destroy people's heads and eat their brains.
For anyone who didn't, back the Kickstarter, pick up the book from me yet, I'm going to put "yet" at the end of that. It was originally created by a guy named Dan Paul, who's a stand-up comedian, podcaster, and he's pretty well known. They have a huge following on Twitch. He originally wrote those when he was like a little kid, and he wrote like dozens of these stories on notebook paper, and his mom kept them. And it was a kid's perspective on like the 80s canon movies. Like what would happen if you had a very young kid watching like Rambo First Blood Part 2 and trying to interpret what those visuals mean and like their understanding of the world through these pop culture benchmarks and the over-the-top 80s bombardment of advertising and just that entire scene where it was like physical media was dominant, whether it was print or movies, there were all these different things. And it was such a naive and innocent mindset going into these really over-the-top and gruesome scenarios. And that's actually how I looked at it, where it was like, it was not at all vindictive or self-congratulatory for embracing this level of violence. It was really just like not understanding and not really knowing what they meant. And that's how I looked at it myself, where it was not necessarily like, just like this obsession with violence or murdering or any of this other stuff. It was a kid trying to understand the world around him at that time, and that was really and trying to entertain his friends, like, and be funny and like be liked, and all these insecurities that you have as a young person. And there's more depth and nuance to it, just from having more experience and learning about the character and where it came from. But it was I fell in love with it. It's not for everyone, and I wholly admit that. And
okay. David Campbell says, just because he always wears cardigans. And Ali is coming in saying, you guys are amazing, inspiring, spectacular talent. I've learned so much from you guys. I'm getting back to work, but wanted to say thank you. Please support these guys.
Thank you, Ali.
And
thanks, bud.
Yeah. And I just, Ian, I was just poking fun at you. I have much respect and love for you. But you are so straight. Like, I mean, I shared the stage with you, and it's like, it's definitely you are. When I was gonna have Joe on, I knew it was gonna be off the hook tonight. So I'm like, Jamie's not here to rope me in. I need somebody. Ian is the guy.
Yeah,
for sure.
Sound effects. The last time I saw you were like, every time Jamie opened her mouth, you were like, honk, and
oh my God, she yelled at me so bad.
Word blurb. He's some kind of slogan. Where are you?
And
where's your sound effects today?
They're here.
Hell, we're gonna be on the internet.
The sound.
Yeah, that's
the sound effects are. The sound effects are here. Don't worry, Joe. I don't want to offend Ian. No.
Ian, climb up your ass, buddy.
Yeah, if you had one character or a team to draw, besides Turtles, besides anything you've already worked on, who would it be?
For the sheer like enjoyment of it, or am I looking at it like, hey,
No, this is you. You got the call. You were like, hey, you're going to work on. What is your dream book to work
on? Wow.
Again, a question I never asked you.
Yeah, I mean, I tend to think that there are certain intellectual properties that like I might be better suited for and could enjoy. But I mean, when it comes to like the call, I really want to work with people. Because I follow comics, I don't follow intellectual properties. I follow creators, and I want to work with the creators that are going to make me the best I can be and demand excellence from whatever we're working on. And when you're in this industry, you realize that that's not always the case. Okay, and I am grateful for opportunities that I've had to work with people who are actually critical of the work, and they will look at it and think about it and try to improve it. And I would like to work with people who hold quality over necessarily hold it paramount. Like that's just how it would be. And I've heard people like Howard Chaykin say things like, I demand people to do their best work. And I would really like that to be something that I get to experience more. It has happened, but for characters, like, would I love for DC to pick up the phone and be like, "Hey, Ian, we're relaunching Angel and the Ape. You in?" And I'll be like, "Yeah, let's do it." And because people that don't know, that was a character that Wally Wood had worked on. Sergio Aragonés did some writing on it, and it it was like 6 issues of like a comedy book that has a giant ape who is a comic book artist and a pretty lady, and they solve mysteries together. And like, if that
sounds like something we were talking about.
if that doesn't sound fun to you, I don't know. I don't know.
Joe, what can you tell us about this?
That's my baby right there, New Zodiacs.
And it has my favorite character right there.
It's about 12 characters who can channel the cosmic energies of the Zodiac. That is the trade, for which we have 20 copies left, roughly. And I'm going to relaunch, in shooting for July release, New Zodiacs Aquarius. That's the metal guy in the foreground. And somewhere around Halloween, we're going to have New Zodiacs Pisces, which is Cricket.
Cricket, my favorite.
Yep. My favorite too.
Wow.
Yeah, she is my favorite character. I absolutely love that character.
She's a paranormal investigator, communicates with the dead trapped on Earth. And we paint horror with a little sci-fi. Sorry to interrupt.
No, it's okay. I mean, a lot of people say that either the Liberator or the Lion, the people that I talk to, are their favorites, but it's Cricket. I mean, I
guess
I
I'm
don't
on
know.
the island of Malta by myself here. Like
You're not by yourself, because Malta got a review from Comic Crusaders where they said it was the best origin story of the year. So
I remember that.
I get a little bit of everybody. Actually,
okay,
as
but
far
no,
as
I mean,
goes.
yeah, no. Okay, Joe, what about this piece?
Well, these are 2 pieces. We were talking about our favorite characters to draw that aren't our own. This is my baby. This is my guy right here. I grew up on Spiderman. He's a favorite of mine. I got to fulfill a lifelong dream and draw Spider-Man for Marvel Comics. And these are 2 prints that will be at the Northeast Comic-Con, Gary Summers show.
Okay.
One is Spider-Man celebrating the 60th anniversary this year. Can you believe that? Crap.
Wow.
Holy crap. Mm-hmm. So Spidey's 60, and so these are like some of his rogues gallery. On the wanted poster on the wall, there's Carnage and Sandman, Mysterio, like Dr. Octopus, Venom, Scorpion. I love the Scorpion. And the other one on the right is Sharknado versus Spider-Man, because why not?
All right. Andre wants to know, when it comes to the new Z, what is the Ares character?
Yeah, I have an Ares character. He's on the horizon. If you buy the trade, there's a four-page preview of the Ares character in there. He's, I don't know if I want to give too much away with him yet.
Save it for the Kickstarter.
Yep.
Yeah, save it.
Joe, did you do the colors on the Sharknado piece?
I did not. There was a gentleman named Mike Attia. Thanks for reminding me.
Okay.
Mike did both pieces actually. I think he's great, and hopefully
nice.
we'll be doing more work together soon. Hopefully, he's awesome.
So Joe,
works
what
for
inspired
DC
you?
and Marvel.
What inspired you to do Sharknado?
That was the guy who runs the show, Gary Summers. That was like, you should do Spider-Man versus Sharknado, because he had just booked Tara Reid at the show. So she's going to be at the show. I guess she's the main star in Sharknado. So.
Okay, and Andre's very talkative tonight. Andre says, "Where would I buy book since he lives in South Florida?"
Oh, just DM me on my social media. I'll send you one. Yeah, I'm dying to get down to South Florida. I was down there once before COVID.
Road trip.
Yeah, let's do it.
Ian can be our chauffeur. That way you and I won't get in trouble. Rose won't be mad, neither will Sonia.
I'll be a chaperone, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay. It's a comics goob. I'd be combing the bargain boxes the whole
Oh my
time.
God, I would be hunting. I would be hunting for sure. You guys would have to get me out of every thrift store, every flea market, every garage sale we would come across.
You know what I just read was DC Comics 70s Beowulf, written by Michael Uslan, who's the producer of the Batman movies.
Really?
It's so good.
You guys
believe it.
So good.
Now, Ian, I know Joe, you saw it, but did you see my newest find? and what I posted on my social media. 1973.
Oh yeah, yes, the Captain America. Yeah, the nice.
No, the Lone Ranger in silver.
Oh, the action figures.
Yeah, did you see it, Ian?
Mm-mm.
The 1973 Gabriel Lone Ranger and silver.
I had those.
Yeah, he's right over there on the Geek Lair. So I don't want to get off camera again.
Get up, get out of your chair.
No, he's down there. He's.
Do you have Tonto? I love Tonto.
No, I don't have Tonto or Scout. Now Scout's very hard to find. He is like lost right now.
You guys are having fun. It's all good.
Scout was very hard to find, and I've been looking through them. There is a comic book store that we all three of us know. That's Entertainment out in Worcester. Not affiliated yet with the Angry Geeks, and I'm working on it. They have Lone Ranger and Tonto there with accessories, but it's not the accessories that come with the Lone Ranger and Tonto. They're from the Wild Wild West action figures.
That's funny you're going to say that. Yes.
Yes. Somebody took those accessories and threw them in there, and they're selling them for this big package deal. And I'm like, guys, no, those accessories don't belong with these. You got to take them out of there. You're selling a mixed lot here, so the price you're asking for.
Sell it as a mixed lot, though, because they were kind of the same size, and
they were, but it's like the Lone Ranger's hat is Jim West's hat. It's not white; it's gray, it's tan. Right. I'm like, no, you can just. And Andre says that if we go to Florida, we can all crash at his house. Just don't tell his wife.
As you can tell, it'll be real quiet in your house.
Yeah. Three grown-ass men just sleeping on his living room. Don't worry about it. But it's like the figures are intact. Again, Lone Ranger, his mask, you can't find his mask anywhere unless you spend a lot of money.
My mask broke like in the first week.
Exactly. So I made a mask for my Lone Ranger.
Oh,
I know. Yeah. See, Ian has yet to be here in the Geek Lair. Now, Joe, you're in the Geek Lair a couple times.
Ian, you've never been there?
I have not made the sojourn.
Dude, you gotta go. It's probably got twice as much stuff every time.
It does.
Every time I see it, I just went shopping. I just got back from a flea market in the middle of COVID. He's raiding flea markets. Your Geek Lair is probably twice as deep. There's probably one body width of space.
It is now, because now, like, where the original art is no longer in the lair. It's in the hallway to the bathroom.
Yeah, that's where you found my Superman, right behind the tank in the toilet. That's where you got my Superman hanging, don't you?
It's like, well, I got the green screen behind me, of course, but it's like we have not a shower curtain, but a shower curtain like thing for the blue and green screen, so I can slide them back and forth. And we got the hammer. I got the Iron Man helmet. I got Cap's shield hanging up over here. The DC stuff over here. The statues over there. I got the spinner rack with comics over here. Comics I still have to catalog, bag and board over there on the floor. Not to mention all the camera equipment for the show over here and the podcast over. Yeah, it's just insane. And like Jamie says, when she comes here, it's like you collect all the stuff, and it's just like more and more. Yeah, and it's like more and more and
panoramic video. And post it on your.
Yeah, I have. Rose tells me I should do that. Jamie says I should do that, but it's like everything is just it's a mess. But if Ian, I tell you what, if Ian,
like the medal for the most wonderful person ever built by man or beast.
Who, Rose?
Yeah. Because
well, I forgot again.
She's the most perfect person, I think.
Yes, she is. I'm very grateful to have her. And I forgot another 15-minute mark on March 12th at 12 p.m. in Milford, Connecticut at Alternate Universe. The Green and White Ranger, Jason David Frank, will be there signing autographs. Make sure you get tickets now. Give him a call. Call Eric, tell him the Angry Geeks sent you. The Angry Geeks will be there to see Jason David Frank at Alternate Universe LLC on Saturday, March 12th at 12 p.m. at the Milford store. Ian, if you should want to stop by and we can carpool to go down and see Ron Garvey at the store, I will definitely clean up the lair. Then I have an incentive, to do the video for everyone, because I got Macho Man cowboy hats all over the place, and I actually, I got a new Batman statue from the Batman. Joe, what is your thoughts before we wrap up really quick? What is your thoughts on the new Batman movie coming out this week?
Oh, I look forward to it coming out on DVD so I can watch it.
Oh, okay. And Andre says, I think Ian is afraid to go to Lewis's. And Andre says that Lewis has the hole in the basement where he has to put the lotion on his skin. No, I don't think that. And Aviva says, some of us are too young to remember those action figures. Oh, Aviva. Sure. You know, Aviva just met Rose a couple weeks ago.
Oh, cool.
And, yeah, we were walking through a Walmart, and Aviva saw me, and, you know, she gave me a hug. And Rose was
not
like,
at a show. This is in the wild, not at a show.
Yes, it was
really?
in the wild.
Okay.
Yes,
Nice.
and Andrew comes in and says, hi. Guys, this is a very quick hour. Ian, please tell everyone where they can find you, where they can get a commission, and where they can bug you as much as I do.
Right now, the place to get a piece of original art for me is on the Planet Comics Kickstarter. My buddy Jeff McClellan is the publisher and primary writer. I work with him on the Tick, and he has a ton of super talented artist friends that all contribute to these excellent comics. They're sort of a continuation in spirit of the Golden Age comic, Planet Comics. And it's science fiction, it's mystery, there's all kinds of great stuff in there. And I'm doing sketch rewards, so that he's got sketch covers coming out, and we can do science fiction. I'm happy to draw the Tick or my characters or whatever you like. Swing over there and check that out. And you can follow me on Instagram, Ian Chase Nichols, or on Twitter, Ian C. Nichols, or I've been actually finally updating my art page and my website. So there's a link tree in most of my places, so you can find everything there.
And Joe, please tell everyone where they could find you, if where they can get a commission, and where the future Kickstarter will be.
I'm testing out my site right now to make sure it's working. JoeSt.Pierre.com, Astronaut Inc. INK.com, and the social media links are there. So use email link and Instagram, Facebook links, and whatnot.
And you can find those links. You can find those links piggybacked and hot linked off the Angry Geeks social media page and our website. I am Louis Perry. You can find me every Monday night here with my sister from another mister, the one and only that Wonder Woman, Jamie Dolan. You can go to www.theangrygeekshow.com and get some swag. Aviva, we did get your t-shirt order, and I will be in contact with you about that, and it will be mailed, so don't you worry about that. And you can find me every Tuesday night with my brother from another mother, the one and only Ink-slinging Jack Purcell, as we bring to you the one and only best in New England about pro wrestling on the Faces and Heels podcast. And you can watch me Wednesday night on the Mayhem Show when I show up to cause mayhem on with Mark May. I'm Lewis, and you can find us on the Earplug Podcast Network and your local public access TV show. I want to thank these two gentlemen for hanging out with me tonight, and a special thank you for Ian for taking Jamie's place. And let's do a Brady Bunch goodbye. See you guys next week. Be safe, San Diego.
This has been an Earplug Podcast presentation, found on earplugpodcast.com, iTunes, SoundCloud, and wherever your favorite podcasts are found.